Hey everyone, I mentioned on my last video that I would follow up on the COVID-19 vaccine when I got my second injection. And I just got my second injection today, Wednesday, January 13th, probably like 20 minutes ago. And I just kind of wanted to follow up and follow through with what I said I would do. So basically, the Pfizer and Moderna versions of the COVID-19 vaccine are the vaccinations that are approved for emergency use through the FDA, which means that the FDA found that their data showed promising effectiveness and a good safety profile to be able to approve them for emergency use, which obviously they haven't gone through all 4 phases of human trials. But in the first few phases that they did complete, they were successful enough as far as efficacy and safety profiles to be, considered safe to distribute to the population. Right now, if you're a healthcare worker or if you're ages 65 and above in the state of Florida, you can find different locations to obtain your COVID-19 vaccine. Like I said, just got my second shot here, my left arm, as I did before. I did have a significant amount of arm pain the last time that I got my vaccination, so I did do the same arm because I am right-handed, and I know that I did go through a lot of soreness and stuff. I couldn't lift anything with my arm the next day, and so I didn't want to do obviously my dominant arm or hand for the vaccine. They did a similar system in which they, when they took you to the suite where they were administering the vaccinations, they gave you a sticker that has the lot number, the expiration date of the vaccination that you received. For Moderna and Pfizer, if you got the Moderna vaccine first, you need to get the second vaccine for Moderna 28 to 30 days later. If you got the Pfizer vaccine first, you need to get the Pfizer vaccine 21 days later. Do not mix vaccinations. If you got Pfizer first, don't get Moderna second. If you got Moderna first, don't get Pfizer second. You have to get the same vaccination both times. The time frames for the second booster injection are different depending on which one you got, but make sure you're not mixing those. It is not okay to mix those. There was some talk about that. It's, if you get one, stick with one, and that's the way that you're going to, secure or guarantee, not guarantee, but you're going to gain the immunity to COVID-19 for that vaccination. After the initial injection, they say maybe 10 to 14 days after your initial injection, you have about a 50% immunity to COVID-19. And then once you get the second injection, that immunity percentage jumps up between 95 and 98%. So, I have family members that have gotten their first vaccination and they're waiting to get their second. And I tell them, you're not a superhero yet. Don't go out there being, unsafe, still take precautions. There's still a chance that even after you get the vaccination, you can still get the virus and you can be contagious to others even if you don't have symptoms. So that's still, a threat as well. So if you have elderly people that you live with or that you work with, just because you got even both of your vaccinations for COVID-19 doesn't mean that you can't be contagious to others. You can still get the virus and potentially spread it. So the data on that isn't all encompassing either. We're still testing this thing out. So I would say, as far as precautions, just because you got the vaccine doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want, unfortunately. There's a lot of talk about jobs and employers that are making it mandatory to be, vaccinated for COVID-19 if you want to continue to work in that, job or location. And I've seen both sides of this. I've seen entire medical office staffs out with the flu, and everybody calls out sick. They have to shut down the office because they don't have staff to see patients or whatever the case is. And so me working in an office where all of my patients are immunocompromised and on medications that make them even more immunocompromised, I can see the benefit and the reasoning behind making the COVID-19 vaccine mandatory in those settings. But I see the opposite side. If you're not pro-vaccine like I am, then I can see how that would seem unfair. But it's a hard decision that employers are having to make right now. They're not making it lightly. And so, whereas I see how people can say that that's unfair, or, I do see, especially being in a medical setting, the importance of your staff being vaccinated for COVID-19, coming in contact with patients. And, there have been some side effects, articles, rumors being spread. One of them being, the vaccination may cause infertility. Obviously, these vaccinations have not been out long enough to test them in pregnant women. They haven't been out long enough to see the issues of fertility that could arise. And I could see where that can be an issue. However, I will say those rumors typically include a blanket statement of mRNA vaccines cause infertility. And mRNA vaccines such as Zika the Zika vaccine are given to pregnant women. So, don't believe everything you hear. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there right now. The other one I hear is the, mRNA vaccines could make it easier for you to catch HIV. HIV can only be caught if you're participating in risky behaviors. Unprotected sex with someone who you don't know the status, their HIV or STD status. Sharing drug needles. So I feel like if you kind of can avoid those things after you get the vaccine, then avoid them, and you won't be put at risk for HIV. So that's a pretty easy one. I have had, people ask me, I want to get pregnant in the next few months. Should I get the vaccine? Maybe not. Maybe it's not the time to get the vaccine for you. If you're pregnant, obviously, don't get the vaccine right now. Those are your prerogatives. But otherwise, I would say the safety profile, like I said, put out by the FDA and all the data is pretty outstanding as far as these two vaccinations. Otherwise, I know I said the last time I put out a follow-up, and I probably will do the same thing, tomorrow, 24 hours, and then another in 48 hours, just to kind of let you guys know where everything is at. But pretty much, I feel fine. It's been about 30 minutes since I got the vaccine, but I will definitely let you know if anything else comes up. Just kind of touching on the idea of, these mandatory vaccinations. I feel like if we all did our part a little better, to stop the spread of COVID-19, we wouldn't be in this situation. Unfortunately, in the United States, everybody has kind of just gone a little crazy. And, anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000 people are dying a day of COVID-19. And just being in that statistic myself, that's 3,500 to 4,000 families that have to suffer the loss of someone they love from this disease. And that's not something to be taken lightly. And if you're somebody that has been spared that pain, then I'm happy for you. But as someone who hasn't been spared that pain, I feel like we need to do better, as a country. We need to do better with this COVID situation. We need to do better with a lot of things. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's just opinion. I'm just putting these videos out there to put more information about the COVID-19 vaccine, being very transparent and very vulnerable with you guys. So if you have any questions, I've had plenty of people DM me or text me if you have my number, ask me questions. But other than that, I will definitely put out a follow-up email, thinking about work already, a follow-up video tomorrow and the following day, just to let you guys know how everything is going. Well, have a good day, be safe, stay safe out there, and I will talk to you soon.